Hey guys, welcome back to today's video, and I'm going to be explaining to you how this M4 Mac Mini saves Synapse Dynamics over $1,000 a month. And it's only just the beginning. Let's get into it. Now, first of all, why would I get a Mac Mini if I already own a 2024 M4 Pro MacBook Pro? It's honestly quite simple. And while the M4 Mac Mini is not as fast as this M4 Pro MacBook Pro, it does allow me to do one thing, and that is travel. So as we all know, we specialize in designing, distributing, and supplying monthly updates and optimizations to our trading algorithms. And the one thing that's very important when it comes to doing this is being able to frequently update and optimize. Now, one very key important thing to take away from that sentence is the updating and optimizing of the algorithms. We all know that right now, the last couple months of 2025 has been very volatile and we have seen very unstable market conditions. However, Synapse Dynamics' products still boast a whopping 82 to 95% win rate over 3 years. Now, given that there are multiple different ways in which you can backtest, optimize, forward test, break test, out of data, pocket test, or out of pocket test them, one thing is sure: optimizations take time. Now, the quickest and most efficient way to save time when it comes to optimizing these algorithms is by using cloud computing, where you have computers all over the world sharing their resources, sharing their CPU power. And oftentimes I've used as many as up to 600 agents or cores at a time, which drastically improves optimization times from 3 days down to just a couple hours. But there's a caveat. Now, the caveat with doing this is money. It costs money. Now, right now, Synapse sells 5 automatic algorithms that get updated and re-optimized every single month. Now, using the cloud for that costs about $100 to $150 per algorithm each month. Now, looking at that, we're already looking at $700 to $800 every month just for optimizations. And that is not something that continuously brings money in. That is seen as a cost of business expense. Now, one way to mitigate these costs is with a $600 M4 Mac Mini. The only caveat with using the Mac Mini compared to cloud computing is time. Whereas with cloud computing, it would take me about 24 hours maximum to run through billions of parameters. The Mac Mini takes about 2 days, sometimes 3. Now, there's an interesting thing you can do is if you have MetaTrader on other platforms, such as what I do on my M4 Pro MacBook Pro, you can set them up as a local farm, meaning the M4 Mac Mini will be the main computer running the optimizations. But then over the internet or over your local network, you can then also use the 14 extra cores of, say, this M4 Pro MacBook Pro or any other computer to run with that. That means we've gone up from having 10 cores to having 24 cores. Now, that doesn't necessarily cut the time in half, but it saves us about a day per algorithm. Given the M4 Pro MacBook Pro does draw a little bit more power than the M4 Mac Mini, but it also vastly speeds up the algorithm optimization process, which saves a bit of electricity. The other key thing is I travel a lot. I'm between South Africa and the United States. I'm building this company, traveling between states and provinces and countries. And when running these optimizations locally on my MacBook, it's got to stay open 24/7. And the issue with that is you cannot leave it open 24/7 when you are passing through customs. So the Mac Mini can stay here in the United States where we don't have load shedding. It can run 24/7. I can log in from anywhere across the world via any desk or remote control to start and stop optimizations, to view results. And it's just a convenience. Now, considering the total power draw of the Mac Mini barely reaches 50 watts, and it's only $600 per Mac Mini, as we bring out more algorithms, that will take more time, and we will eventually reach a point where the Mac Mini cannot run through 10 or 15 algorithms every month by running constant optimizations. Now, remember how I spoke earlier about having a cloud network or a local farm network and using multiple computers together over your local area network to like put the cores together? That's where future plans come in. Now, given on a 10-core Mac Mini, optimizations on the current phase 3 algorithm takes about 2 days because it runs through about 6 to 8 billion parameters. Eventually, we will purchase more Mac Minis. And I think the current plan is, what if we have 10 Mac Minis, right? That means we would have spent about $6,000 eventually. That also leaves us with 100 M4 cores to use. The 10 Mac Minis running simultaneously would only draw about 500 watts. Still less than having one very powerful computer. Now remember, we don't need the computer for graphics because all we're doing is using CPU power for calculations. These calculations cannot be run on a graphics card. So we should then theoretically be able to use 100 cores, bring optimization times of algorithms down to 6 hours at least, because we're spreading it over 100 cores, and still draw less power than a fully built PC with only 8 to 16 cores. The other cool thing that you need to keep in mind is that even though we are now drawing, for example, 500 watts of power, because we're only running it for 6 hours compared to 2 days, we might, with an asterisk, be able to even save on electricity costs. Yet again, in order to have these plans happen, the company needs to make sales, the company needs to grow, because at the end of the day, the goal of Synapse is not just to sell MetaTrader automated algorithms and optimize them. There are much bigger plans to help people who have wealth, people who don't have wealth, people who barely have even money. There's a lot more plans, but for that, we need funding. For funding, we need to push sales, and to keep pushing sales, we need to keep delivering great quality algorithms, and people need to continue making money. Now, that's just a quick insight as to why I bought the M4 Mac Mini for the company. And even though it does take a bit longer to do optimizations, it affords freedom and it saves on overall company costs long term. Now, I cannot go too in depth with what makes our current algorithms so magical, but let's just say, given gold phase 2 would have taken 2 losses the last week, our phase 3 algorithm knew exactly to not participate in the market. It protected your capital. And another key feature of the phase 3 algorithm is that instead of having trades run for a week plus, you are now in and out within 20 minutes to 2 hours for the same amount of money. It's smarter, more stable, given the volatile markets that we are currently in. And being able to continuously keep our clients happy with stable algorithms, that is a key focus. Saving money, another key focus. Sometimes spending a bit of money up front saves you money down the road. As long as the clients are happy, as long as the algorithms keep making money, Synapse will keep flourishing. Thank you guys for watching this video. It is short, it is in-depth, and it's just a little quick behind the scenes look as to what has been going on.